If you're still depressed about the world we live in, hopefully my next two guests will change that. Peter Diamandis is an American entrepreneur, perhaps best known as the founder and chairman of the X Prize, which offers big cash payouts for breakthrough scientific developments that will help humanity. And Stephen Kotler is an author and journalist. They've just published their second book together called Bold: How to Go Big, Create Wealth, and Impact the World. Are you ready to be more optimistic? Then listen in. Peter Diamandis, Stephen Kotler, pleasure to have you on. So let's first talk about the bigger issue, which is one of the things you guys have been campaigning to make us all understand is that we are not living in scary, dark times, but in times of incredible opportunity and abundance, right?
Yeah.
What is the most powerful evidence for that?
The evidence is, 1,000 years ago, if you wanted to affect a country or region, you had to be the king or the queen to do anything. 100 years ago, you'd be the industrialist, robber baron. Today, any of us have access to the technology that only governments had 20 or 30 years ago, access to crowdfunding. So someone who's driven, who's passionate, can actually make a difference, go and start a company that can positively impact the lives of millions, eventually billions of people.
And in a sense, that's really, to me, the most remarkable, hopeful sign that there are so many people whose potential is still untapped, who have this talent that is not used in any way. People in India, people in China, people in Africa.
So that's absolutely right. And we're living in a time where the number of people connected online back in 2010 was about 1.8 billion. And over the next 5 years, we're going up to 5 to potentially 7 billion people connected around the world. So there's 3 billion new minds entering the global economy. And these are 3 billion minds not coming online like we did back in the mid-90s. They're coming online with access to the world's information on Google, Amazon Web Services, with cloud computing, with cloud printing. And that's an exciting time to be alive because the number of people solving problems, I don't have to depend on the government or the large corporations. If I care about something, I have the tools now to go and solve it, create a business, and really drive a world of abundance.
So when people think about this issue of innovation and the future, there's a school of thought that says, you know what, this all sounds good, and these people like the two of you talk about this, there's a gee whiz quality to it, but if you would actually look at the productivity, at the way in which things have actually improved, give me the 1880s or 1890s any day when you have electricity and indoor plumbing and hygiene, and those are much more important than, a Twitter or an app.
They may be much more important than Twitter and an app at that kind of foundational level of kind of taking care of your basic needs, right? But in terms of take it one step farther, the Twitter and the app kind of democratizes the power for anybody to make a living, right? It's a platform play, so anybody can come in and plug in and develop on that place. So it opens up an entire world entrepreneurial possibility that just wasn't available way back in the 1880s. In the 1880s, everybody had to be a generalist, right?
So one of the things you talk about in this book is how to take advantage of this world of abundance, and what are the things, the technologies that will do it. And you talk about things that democratize, things that dematerialize, that take away the money. So you think about Craigslist or the Wikipedia, right?
Or Uber, right, or Airbnb. And so Bold is a book written for entrepreneurs, and it's a how-to manual. And we built the book in 3 parts. In the first part, it's about, these are the exponential technologies, AI, robotics, synthetic biology, networks, sensors, 3D printing, that any entrepreneur can begin to use. You don't have to be a technologist. We show you in the book how to tap into this, because there are lots of technologists out there looking for someone to work with. The second part of the book is about mindset. It's about how do the most extraordinary entrepreneurs, Larry Page, Elon Musk, Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos, how do they think at scale? And what are the ways you can think at scale? And then the final part of the book is the realization that we have tools like crowdfunding, right? $15 billion in 2015 in crowdfunding will grow to $100 billion. So this book is about how do you build a company? How do you become an entrepreneur that impacts 1 billion people?
So the key to many of these people is thinking at scale, that ability to think of solving a huge problem and of building a huge company. Is that different from just being an entrepreneur who wants to start a dry cleaning business and knows how to run the books well so they'll always make a profit?
Well, I think one of the things that's interesting that I've noticed in interviewing all the entrepreneurs that we talked to for this book, very, very successful entrepreneurs, there doesn't seem to be that much of a difference in terms of input, how hard you're going to work. What's interesting is it's the vision that is actually the difference. How big is your idea? Because everything else is going to be basically the same.
Fareed, if I could add there, one of the realizations in Bold is that the world's biggest problems are the world's biggest business opportunities. And the flip side of that is if you want to become a billionaire, help 1 billion people. And that level of scale used to only be possible with Jeff Immelt at GE or Muhtar Kent at Coca-Cola. Today, an entrepreneur using this hyper-connected world can actually create a product or a service they upload to the cloud and make available to 1 billion people. This is fundamentally different than even 10 years ago. And so it allows each of us to think at a global scale. And our mission is, stop building photo sharing apps and start taking on one of the world's biggest problems where you can help build this world of abundance, create tremendous wealth for you, and really provide a positive impact for the world.
Peter, Stephen, pleasure to have you on.